What's up everybody, back with another video, and today we are at the best place for birding in the city, Utah, Antelope Island. I'm joined here with Hawken from Hawken the Lens.
Good to be here again.
Yeah, finally back with Hawken. It's been months since we birded together. The last time we went birding was Oregon. Wow, what a trip that was. And we've already started off this trip with an amazing sighting. We got a short-eared owl on camera. I believe that is first of the year for Utah. I got that in Oregon earlier on camera, but the shots were right here, right along the road. I got it flying. Absolutely incredible to start off the day with that bird. We're kind of just out here birding, honestly. Like, we're not searching for anything. Antelope Island is so amazing that you never know what you'll find. Like a short-eared owl, never seen one here before. So let's see what we can find today.
We made our way down the long bending causeway towards the main island. A flock of mallards flew directly overhead, led by what appears to be a very interesting looking male. A white-faced ibis flew into the sun, silhouetting itself against the backdrop and skimming over the surrounding shorebirds. Large flocks of birds gathered in the few pockets of water left. I'll talk about this in a minute, but water levels have hit historic lows for the Great Salt Lake. This is devastating to the million of birds that rely on this flyway. Here you can see mostly American avocets, but also some Franklin's gulls mixed in as well. Black-necked stilts ripped by us on the horizon. Flapping silently above us was the large wingspanned American white pelican, a bird that has been successfully expanding its population since the ban of the harmful DDT.
We've seen some awesome birds so far on the causeway. A few species that we've picked up are a Franklin's gull just out here on the water over here, as well as a ring-billed gull standing together. And honestly, there are thousands of birds out here today. A lot of them are Wilson's phalaropes, which honestly should be the state bird of the state of Utah. What's really sad to see is how dry the lake is. In fact, most of this was water. In every video that you all have seen, most of this is water. This is all just completely dry. The Salt Lake is reaching dangerously low levels, and the state of Utah is finally declaring a Salt Lake emergency and trying to save it. A little bit late in my opinion, which tends to be the case with these things, but luckily they're starting to wake up and hopefully we get some more water into the Salt Lake. You might be wondering, well, what's the point of putting water in a salt lake? And it's honestly because this is such an amazing flyway for birds. So many migrating species come through here in the millions every single year, and if we lose the Great Salt Lake, we could heavily damage the ecosystem, the migration process for so many species of birds. Not to mention that when land is exposed that was previously covered by water, noxious gases release into the air, and this could affect up to 2 million people. So if the birds aren't enough for you, human lives are also at stake here, and air quality is at stake here, so something has got to be done.
We kept moving forward, enjoying the causeway, but also anxiously waiting the other birds on the island as we approached. A loggerhead shrike perched on a man-made slab of cement just off the road. These birds are amazing. They're a predatory songbird that pins its prey on thorns and barbed wire, mostly grasshoppers and other insects, but it also eats small mammals and birds as well. This bird is considered near threatened due to habitat loss. 2 common ravens perched on a fence surveying their surroundings. If you have trouble with raven and crow ID, check out this video I made a few weeks ago. It really helps in distinguishing the 2 species. Link will be in the description below, and you can watch it after this one. Covering the island were all of these spider webs. This happens every year along the causeway and the island. The webs belong to the western orb weaver and show up in the late summer on the island. They aren't dangerous to humans and help keep the insect populations at a healthy level, another species threatened by the loss of the lake. A group of long-billed curlews stalked along the newly exposed ground, stabbing their beaks into the sand as they looked for food. These are the largest shorebirds in North America, and only 9 species considered endemic to the Great Plains. Thousands of objects dotted the shallow water of the Salt Lake. Taking a closer look, these are another phalarope species we get each year, the red-necked phalarope. These are some of the smallest seabirds in existence. What's interesting about these birds is that, like other phalaropes, they are polyandrous, meaning that their sex roles are reversed. Breeding females have brighter plumages than the males and are slightly larger as well. Females also fight over the males, and the males do parental care. To stir up food, these birds will spin like a top in the water, which is incredibly entertaining to watch. We also get red phalaropes on the causeway, but they're extremely rare and really difficult to pick out. I've only seen one ever, but I'm sure somewhere in this vast expanse of birds, one is certainly hiding out. Eventually, the phalaropes took to the sky, creating an incredible scene before us as they turned and flew in unison. Just below were some baby ducklings cautiously looking to jump into the water. Once the first one hopped in, the rest were soon to follow. A flock of yellow-headed blackbirds descended onto the millions of flies along the shore. A feast was taking place, and these birds were not going to miss out on their invite. Finally, we arrived at Antelope Island itself, eager to discover.
So we just finished up on the causeway, and now we're on the main island. We're gonna head on the mainland. The mainland features some amazing creatures, including burrowing owls, bison, antelope, well, pronghorn, if we're lucky, barn owls and great horned owls. So there's also chukar out here, which would be awesome to see, and ringneck pheasants. So there's a lot to see still. Let's see what we can find.
Immediately upon arriving at the island, action was taking place. A coyote slinked its way through the foothills. In the past, American white pelicans' nesting populations declined because water levels dropped and coyotes were able to cross newly formed land bridges to breeding colonies on the lake. American bison are also plentiful on the island. They were introduced in 1893 to try and save the species from extinction. Their population on the island today is around 600. We got more views of another loggerhead shrike perched upon a jagged rock. Eventually, we arrived at one of the main spectacles on the island, the burrowing owls. Burrowing owls typically occupy old burrows dug by badgers and coyotes. However, as these mammal species decline, so do the burrowing owls. It's important to recognize that on Earth, everything is connected. If one part of the chain is impacted, everything will feel the ripple effect, including us humans. Because the burrowing owl population is in decline, Antelope Island State Park have built a number of artificial nests around the island. This isn't an easy task. These owls are picky on where they live, and they like to have several rooms, one for eating and one for sleeping. They also like to have 360 degrees of sight around the burrow to detect any predators that may be approaching. They also like to decorate, leaving ornaments like old beetle wings on the doorstep of their home. Eventually, they will head south to Mexico for the winter, around mid-September, and return again in the spring. It was fun to watch these owls run back and forth from burrow to burrow. It's also impressive how light birds are due to their hollow bones and ability to perch on the smallest of branches.
Just picked up a new year bird for me this year, a sage thrasher. I'm not sure how this bird evaded me for so long, but we got a sage thrasher on the list. A northern mockingbird also flew by, did not get that one on camera. Antelope Island has some pretty hard to find birds compared to the rest of the state of Utah, and some unique birds as well. So sage thrasher is one I really wanted to see, and we got it on the list. All right, so we made it over to Gar Ranch. This is it's a kind of a vagrant tramp, but before we got here, we actually stopped at a picnic area. It's a little bit lesser known, a little bit less foot traffic, and we picked up some neat birds, including a gray flycatcher. So that is, I believe, a first of the year for me. I'm not exactly sure, but absolutely incredible to pick up that gray flycatcher at that hot spot.
Whoa, hold your horses, Jordan. There were a few more sightings at that picnic area, one of which was these charismatic lark sparrows, a stunning sparrow with an earmuff pattern. We also ran into another of Antelope Island's large mammals, the pronghorn. Although some people call them antelope, they aren't antelope at all. They're actually related to giraffes and are the fastest land animal in North America. What's incredible is that these creatures evolved to outrun Myricynonyx, more affectionately known as the American cheetah. On our way to the ranch, we encountered this beautiful great horned owl. Despite being a very large owl, back in the Pliocene there were owls named Bubo sinclairi, which were even larger than today's Bubo virginianus, or great horned owl. Pretty cool knowing birds have been around for so long.
Now that we're here at Gar Ranch, a really weird spectacle took place. There were 8 at least common nighthawks flying in the middle of the day over us, just swarming all over the place. They have since left. I mean, there's a few left over here, but it was absolutely incredible to see. So got those on camera as well. We haven't even gotten to the ranch yet, and the birds are absolutely amazing.
We got even better views of the common nighthawk perched in a tree. Can you see it? It's extremely camouflaged and perfectly adapted from hiding from predators while resting. Here's another angle. You can see it better here, but if someone didn't tell me that it was a bird, I would have definitely have thought it was part of the tree. A beautiful yellow and orange bird, the western tanager, jumped effortlessly through the canopy of a nearby tree. The ranch was slow, but we did find another bright bird, the yellow warbler.
All right, so a couple of weeks ago, something amazing happened, and I had to keep it kind of under wraps just because this bird is very sensitive. I didn't want people to see the video and then rush to the last locations that I'd been birding. But a couple of weeks ago, I ended up getting my 290th life bird for the state of Utah. Only 10 more to go for the state, and the 300 birds that I'm looking to get. Picked up a long-eared owl. This was not a bird I was looking for. This was not a bird I was expecting. It just happened. And honestly, long-eared owls locations are geolocked on eBird anyways, so you can't just go like searching for them. You have to basically know where they are, which no one's gonna tell you, or number two, you have to just go and get lucky, and that's exactly what happened to me. So absolutely incredible to finally pick up this live bird. I'm sorry it couldn't happen organically, but I really wanna protect this bird's location. Number 290. Wasn't that long-eared owl absolutely incredible? I knew it was going to happen like that. I just didn't know when, and it just popped up out of nowhere. That's what I love about birding. You never know what you're going to find. I just wanted to hop on real quick. I talk a lot about negative things happening to birds that are typically human caused, but I don't talk a lot about the solutions. I'm gonna start linking below organizations where you can either volunteer your time or donate money to these organizations that are working to either save the birds, or in some cases like today, save the Great Salt Lake. If that interests you and you have the extra cash to contribute or time, please check those out. I'll start doing this in future videos as well because I want my videos to have an impact on you as the viewer, but also an impact on the birds. As always, thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope to see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding.